Most of you have probably seen the earlier video. Today, let's talk about why Iran and Israel have been locked in a long-standing conflict. Tensions in the Middle East have suddenly escalated. In early April 2024, Iran and Israel appeared to once again be engaged in a long-distance confrontation. Israeli missiles struck the consular building of the Iranian embassy in Syria. This attack killed 16 people, including several senior officers of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC. Iran vowed to retaliate. Just days later, it coordinated with its allies, Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Houthis in Yemen, to launch a barrage of drones and missiles at Israeli territory. As we moved into 2025, the confrontation intensified. Reports emerged that Iran had launched rocket attacks in broad daylight against Israeli cities like Tel Aviv. Israel responded with several days of retaliatory airstrikes on Tehran. Both sides exchanged missile fire, resulting in significant casualties. This series of events raised concerns worldwide about whether the long-standing hostility between the two nations was inching closer to full-scale war. Given these alarming developments, people naturally wonder, why are Iran and Israel always fighting? Why are two countries, separated by over 1,000 kilometers, locked in a seemingly endless cycle of conflict? Next, we'll explore the long-standing hostility between the two nations through the lenses of history, religion, geopolitics, and proxy wars. Iran and Israel were not always mortal enemies. Under the Pahlavi dynasty in the mid-20th century, Iran and Israel shared a brief period of friendly relations. In 1947, Iran tried to mediate between Arab and Jewish communities over the Palestine issue at the United Nations. In 1950, Iran even became the second Muslim-majority country to officially recognize Israel. However, everything changed after the 1979 Islamic Revolution in Iran. Ayatollah Khomeini overthrew the pro-Western Shah and established the Islamic Republic. Khomeini adopted an anti-Western, anti-Israel foreign policy and openly supported the Palestinian cause. The new Iranian government cut all official ties with Israel. Iranians were banned from traveling to Israel, and the former Israeli embassy in Tehran was handed over to the Palestinian Liberation Organization and symbolically converted into the Palestinian embassy. Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat was the first foreign dignitary invited to Iran after the revolution. He was personally handed the keys to the former Israeli embassy as a symbol of solidarity with Palestine. Since 1979, opposing Israel has become a foundational element of Iran's foreign policy. The long-standing animosity between Iran and Israel is also deeply rooted in religion and ideology. Iran is a Shia-majority Islamic republic. Israel is a Jewish nation-state founded on Zionism. Iranian leaders like Khomeini see Israel as an arrogant force and a proxy oppressing Muslims in the region. Post-revolution Iran promoted Islamic unity and tried to elevate the Palestinian issue from an Arab concern to a cause for the entire Muslim world. In 1979, Khomeini declared the last Friday of Ramadan as Quds Day, urging massive protests in Islamic countries in support of Palestine and against Israeli occupation. This approach aimed to bridge the Sunni-Shia and Arab-Persian divide, positioning Iran as the vanguard of the anti-Israel struggle. From Israel's perspective, a religiously revolutionary regime that refuses to acknowledge Israel's legitimacy is a mortal enemy. Israel was founded as a safe haven for Jews worldwide and is extremely sensitive to existential threats. Iranian leaders have repeatedly made inflammatory statements calling for Israel's elimination. As a result, Israel remains on high alert. Both sides view the other as the antithesis of their values, and this ideological enmity fuels continuous conflict. However, it's worth noting that the Iran-Israel conflict is not purely religious. Religion is often intertwined with political and strategic interests. For Iran, opposing Israel serves both religious and geopolitical purposes. Similarly, Israel's hostility toward Iran is driven by real security concerns. Beyond history and ideology, deeper geopolitical reasons explain the Iran-Israel rivalry. Both nations aim to expand their influence in the Middle East and see each other as major threats. Israel views Iran as a rare non-Arab power in the region with anti-Israel ambitions and a growing military capability. Israel fears that if Iran acquires nuclear weapons or achieves military superiority, it could pose an existential threat. Israeli leaders have repeatedly stated they will not allow Iran to build nuclear weapons, even suggesting preemptive strikes if necessary. Although Israel has never officially confirmed it, it is widely believed to possess dozens of nuclear warheads. From Iran's perspective, Israel is seen as the U.S.'s regional enforcer, standing in the way of Iran's rise. Since 1979, Iran has emphasized resistance against U.S. and Israeli dominance in the region. Iran accuses the U.S. and Israel of supporting pro-Western regimes and suppressing Islamic revolutionary forces. This forms a regional power struggle. Iran seeks regional dominance, while Israel works with allies to contain Iran's influence. For decades, Israel has allegedly conducted covert sabotage operations inside Iran, including the Stuxnet cyber attack and the assassinations of nuclear scientists. One such example is the 2020 assassination of Iranian nuclear physicist Mohsen Fakhrizadeh using a remote-controlled weapon. Iran, too, has reportedly launched cyber attacks and orchestrated overseas plots targeting Israeli interests. Thus, both countries are engaged in a prolonged shadow war, avoiding direct conflict but constantly undermining each other. Iran supports a military-political alliance known as the Axis of Resistance, including Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, the Houthis in Yemen, and some factions in Syria. Israel, in turn, works closely with the U.S., Europe, and some Arab states, while covertly backing anti-Iran groups. This has created two opposing blocs. Iran and its allies seek to expel Israeli and Western influence, while Israel and its partners aim to contain Iran. With no shared border, Iran and Israel primarily engage via proxy warfare, supporting local militias that strike each other's interests. Hezbollah, in Lebanon, is a powerful Shia militia that Iran has supported since the 1980s. It controls large areas in southern Lebanon. Analysts believe Hezbollah would act as Iran's frontline defense in a direct war with Israel. In 2006, Hezbollah and Israel fought a major war. Thousands of Iranian-supplied rockets were launched at northern Israel. Meanwhile, Hamas in Gaza, though Sunni, shares Iran's anti-Israel stance and receives military and financial support from Tehran. Reports indicate Iran provides Hamas over $100 million annually for weapons, training, and operations. This support helped Hamas dramatically improve its capabilities. In October 2023, Hamas launched a massive surprise attack on Israel, showcasing advanced tactics, reportedly enabled by Iranian training and weapons. Iran, through Hezbollah and Hamas, has opened up a two-front pressure strategy against Israel. Israel responds with airstrikes on Hamas and Hezbollah targets, including those in Syria. In April 2024, Israel bombed an Iranian consular building in Damascus, alleging it was storing weapons for Hezbollah. Israeli intelligence agencies are also believed to have assassinated leaders of Iran-backed groups abroad. In 2024, Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh was reportedly killed in Tehran in a bombing, and Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah was also said to have died in a missile strike. The April 2024 attack on Iran's consular building in Damascus killed multiple IRGC officers, sparking outrage in Iran. On April 13, 2024, Iran coordinated a large-scale retaliation with its allies, launching drones and ballistic missiles at Israeli territory and the Golan Heights, its first direct strike on Israeli soil. Iran declared it a justified response to Israel's crossing of diplomatic red lines. Despite global calls for restraint, the conflict did not subside. Reports emerged of Israeli, quote, decapitation strikes, unquote, targeting Hamas and Hezbollah leaders. By the end of 2025, the situation had worsened. Iran claimed Israel had declared war. Israel went on high alert. Mid-June 2025, Iranian missiles struck Tel Aviv, killing civilians. Israeli missiles simultaneously hit targets in Tehran. Open hostilities between the two nations reached unprecedented levels in decades. Iran and Israel's long-standing conflict is the result of historical grudges, religious divides, ideological opposition, geopolitical rivalries, and proxy warfare. Every round of conflict only deepens hatred and mistrust, creating a vicious cycle. Still, every conflict must eventually find an end. Hatred is not unchangeable. What do you think, dear viewers? Can Iran and Israel find a peaceful resolution to this prolonged standoff? Or are they doomed to remain locked in this cycle of conflict for the foreseeable future? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Let's explore whether these two historic enemies can ever find a path toward peace.